Kia ora koutou. I'm going to walk you through the process for completing an annual return, starting from receiving your access email through to submitting your return details with us, so that you know what to expect when you step through the process. The return process is managed on the Commerce Commission's data portal, but for you, the process will start with an email. And the email you receive from us includes context about the return, and importantly, it includes your access details for the portal as well. You will see an account reference, an access code, and a link to get to the portal itself. Your access code will remain active until you have completed your annual return. For example, if you get interrupted partway through and don't complete the return, you will be able to use the same access details to log in again later to complete the return. Your access is deactivated shortly after your return is completed. If you click the link, that will take you to the login page for our portal. It's worth noting that this portal is used to receive data from multiple industries that the Commission regulates. So some of the language and help information will be general in pages like the sign-in page like this, and may not relate specifically to the credit industry. For the annual return process, you'll be using the left-hand temporary access login option. If you fill out the account reference and access code sections using the details from the email that you received, that will let you sign in using the sign in button at the bottom. And when you're signed in, it will take you to a landing page for the credit annual return process. And this landing page includes some additional context about the process, as well as links to information sections on our website, and importantly, a contact email address as well in case you need it at any stage through the process. It's important to note here that the security settings on our portal will log you out after 20 minutes of inactivity. If you get logged out, your access code that you had in that email will still be valid, so you can log back in at another time to start your return. If you are logged out before you complete the first page of the return, any answers that you've entered won't be saved. So to help you prepare for the annual return questions, you can find an example return on the information section of our website that would help you prepare your answers and make sure that you can complete the form and progress to that second page. When you are ready to go, click the Start Return button to begin the return process. And that will take you to this main page of the return, which is structured like a questionnaire. So you'll need to work your way down the form and fill in all the mandatory questions and any optional questions that you would like to. Like most forms, mandatory questions are marked with an asterisk. And you can answer 0 for a mandatory question if that's your response, of course. So looking at this example here, you can see at the top for that question, what is the number of high-cost consumer credit contracts entered into? For this return, it would be 0. But a few questions down, for the number of other consumer credit contracts entered into, they've got 950. And you can always add explanations or other supporting information in the text boxes underneath. Now, if you step down the form and fill out all of the mandatory fields as you go, you will get to the bottom where there will be a next button to move on to the second page. If you were to click next and hadn't filled out a mandatory field, you will be prompted to make sure you go back and fill those out before you proceed to the next step. So once you click next, you come to the second page, and the important thing to mention here is that your progress will be saved at this point. So if you get to here, you can leave the form and come back later to complete your return using the same details from that initial access email that you received. The second page is giving you an opportunity to complete and upload a supporting file with additional supporting data for your product types if it's applicable to you. This step is optional. If you want to, you can use this section here to download the supporting information template. It is an Excel file, and then you can fill that out yourself and upload the file once you are ready using the Choose File link that you can see on the left there. One thing to note is that you do need to keep the file name the same after you download it, or when you choose to upload it, rather. The form validates that the file name matches the template file. So if you have happened to change the file name at all, you will see an error message pop up when you try to upload it, and you'll need to rename the file back to annualcreditreturn.xlsx to be able to upload that file. Now, once you are ready and have completed that step, you can move on to the third page, which is a summary of the information you've included in your return so far. This is your chance to look over what you've entered and make sure it's correct before submitting the form. So scroll down and check the values that you've entered. If there is something that you want to change, you have to click the previous button to move back to the previous pages, and that will give you a chance to change any details that you would like to. The final step before submitting is at the bottom of this page. You'll need to fill out the declaration fields, which ask for details about who is completing the form. These details do get sent to the primary contact email for your organization once the return is submitted as confirmation. That's the same email address that would have received the access details in the first place. Once you are happy with all of the details and you've completed the declaration, you can click Submit to complete your return. You'll get taken to a confirmation page with a few important pieces of information, including your reference number of your return, which you should take a note of. But most importantly, this is your chance to download a copy of the return that you have submitted. Clicking the Download a Copy of My Return button will download a PDF version of the data for your records. It is important to download a copy now because the access credentials that you received in that first email, they will expire shortly after you have submitted that annual return. The portal is not designed to be a space where you can view previous annual returns at this stage, so make sure you click that button and save a copy of the file for your records as well. But this here is just an example of the PDF that would be downloaded, which would include your return answers, the related information like the return reference number, relevant year, submission date and time, that type of thing. So important to keep a copy of that. And the last note to mention is that a confirmation email is sent to your primary contact email address when the return is completed. So this email includes the return reference I mentioned from the earlier screen, the date and time it was submitted, and the name and email address that were entered in the declaration section of who was submitting the return. This email doesn't include the main content of your annual return. This is to ensure that your data remains secure with us after you've submitted it to us. We don't want to be sending that out via email in this form automatically. But if you have any questions about this step or need to get in touch after you've submitted this return to us, the best way to do that is to use the same email address that has been mentioned a few times through the process, creditreturn@comcom.govt.nz. And that's a space where we will be monitoring and be able to come back with any answers you might need.